Well, John, in 1986, the Vols got off to a rather slow start, but you did have a good, strong finish.
We lost our first 3 conference games last year and then came back and won the final 5 games of the season, and I was very pleased with that. It's a must that we get a faster start this year. It's just no fun to get up off the canvas. It's a tough thing to do. And I hope that we can get a better start this year, starting with our quarterback, Jeff Francis, number 19. Jeff is 6 feet 3 inches tall, about 205-pounder. He has a real strong, beautiful arm. He throws a tight spiral, and besides those assets, he has good running ability. Bill, I've been very fortunate in my coaching career to have 5 number 1 draft choices in the receiving areas. And some of them have had great speed and were also track stars, like Willie Gault and, of course, Tim McGee, a number 1 draft choice a couple of years ago. I think right now we could possibly have the brightest one we've had in Anthony Miller, number 7. Anthony has world-class sprinter speed, plus he has great hands, and he can run with the ball when he catches it. And now we come to the critical part of our football team, defense. And Kelly Ziegler is a person we're counting on, number 49, for leadership and good, solid, sound play. A player I must mention is Harry Galbraith, number 76, senior offensive guard. He's good because he works at it, and he's the most dominating blocker we've had at Tennessee. This could be an interesting year for us. Last year, we were counting on an experienced defense to keep us in there until our young offense matured. It didn't happen. This year, we're counting on an experienced offense to keep us in the ball games until our defense is reconstructed and builds confidence. If so, we could be a solid contender.
The Rebels of
Tennessee
volunteer 182,000 lungs, but for the home team, it's a case of orange you glad.
Quite often, if things aren't going very well, the crowd and the band playing Rocky Top, hips get Rocky Top fever back into the football team, and sometimes it'll bring us back up off our haunches if things aren't going too well.
Another
Californian who stands 6 feet 8 inches high, and today he makes his first start at quarterback for the Hawkeyes because he earned the honor on the practice field. Jeff Francis is the quarterback of the Tennessee Volunteers, 21 years of age, junior Mount Prospect, Illinois, a player who found poise and maturity last season. He is a cannon, firing to some of the fastest college football catchers in the land, like Swift Anthony Miller. As today, we light the fire for the 1987 college football season. Today on ABC Sports, in association with Raycom Sports, Mazda presents the Kickoff Classic. Live from Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Hawkeyes of Iowa against the Tennessee Volunteers. Brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. We're at Giant Stadium at the Meadowlands in New Jersey for the 5th Kickoff Classic. You get invited to this event only once every 5 years, and heretofore it's been teams with rich tradition, and certainly we have 2 today who bring marvelous tradition in college football to this game, Tennessee and Iowa. They're from the Big Ten in the case of Iowa, the SEC for Tennessee. The 2 teams are built totally differently. The basic makeup for Iowa, muscle and consistency. For Tennessee, speed and daring. Now, I know that some of you have got to think that this old guy's been around forever, but at least we keep changing the faces in the other chair. And today we introduce our analyst and commentator for the coming college football season, a college Hall of Famer from Purdue, great quarterback for the Miami Dolphins for 14 seasons. We welcome Bob Griese. A pleasure.
Thank you, Keith. It's a pleasure to be working with you. You know, when you think of college football, this man right here is the guy I think of, and that's Keith Jackson. It's a pleasure to be working with you. It's nice to be back in college again. And like my 12-year-old son told me just before I came up here, he says, Dad, he says, it's nice that you're with a network now that you can spell.
Now you know who I'm here. Well, we've got an interesting matchup today from many points of view and perspectives, and we'll take a look at the Hawkeyes of Iowa under Coach Hayden Fry and get a comment from him in just a moment. The Iowa Hawkeyes, only 1 game at Iowa has not been a sellout since he moved there from North Texas State. They'll play the game under perfect conditions today. Been raining most of the week in the area. Beautiful weather today. The Hawkeyes were 9-3 last season. And Bob Griese, if the pieces fall in place for this team this year, they'll be again a contender for the Big Ten title.
I have to be the best prepared guy on the team because I've got to keep my finger on the offense, the defense, and the kicking game.
And I do call all the plays from the sideline. I have. That's one little value or joy or satisfaction I've retained for myself through the years. And I do get excellent help from the press box, the sideline, and the players as far as what I emphasize in regards to the offensive attack. But that's something that you have to have a feel for as the game progresses. I have a game plan to begin with, and as it progresses, just like you do in the press box, I have to make adjustments. Those are key adjustments, and if we make the correct ones, we have a chance to move the ball. If we don't, Tennessee's defense is going to look good.
We'll take a look at the Tennessee Volunteers and their throwing offense, and we'll talk about the prime worry for the Volunteers, their defense. And now the Iowa Hawkeyes come rumbling into Giant Stadium. They're jacked up. Don't doubt it at all, because this is like a bowl game for them. I know the Iowa team came to watch the Jets and Giants last night here in the stadium. They were impressed by it. And you know they're coming out today just a mile high, and as soon as he turns them loose, the Iowa folks, several thousand of them having come in for the ball game, and maybe 8, 9, 10,000 people have come up from Tennessee. Now, the Tennessee Volunteers wobbled off the start of last season, but finished strong, won the Liberty Bowl. And, Bob, the offense here, I mean, it's put it up and run it down. I mean, some of these kids are, you talk about 4-3 people, they got a bunch.
Well, they are loaded, Keith, and they have a lot of returning starters from last year's team. They have 8. They only lost 3 starters. All the skill position players are back. And as you say, a lot of speed at wide receiver. Their quarterback, Francis, rated number 7 last year statistically in the NCAA. So they've got the proven quarterback, and they've got the speed. I look for some big plays off of that offense.
But say what you want, you still win football games in the trenches and with defense. And it's been defense that has been worrying Tennessee since last year. Johnny Majors had this comment about it.
No, we have to depend on quickness and trying to keep people off balance. We're giving them some different sets and different looks, because we're not a physical football team that can line up and mash people pad to pad, and with the Hovanek out, who's quick and smart, we have to depend on people staying low against those big bruisers from Iowa.
And now Johnny is ready to lead his Volunteers into the stadium. Tennessee will be the home team today. They'll be wearing the home orange. One of the most interesting matchups, I think, Bob Griese, in this stadium today will be the guru, the old fox of the Tennessee defense, Ken Donahue, sending his defensive people out against that young sophomore quarterback of Iowa.
He's the defensive coordinator. He's been in college football for 36 years. He was 21 years at the University of Alabama. Did all those great jobs for Bear Bryant down there. Here's a young sophomore quarterback. I spoke to Donahue yesterday afternoon for 20 or 25 minutes, and as a quarterback, I'm thinking, I don't think I'd want to play against this guy. He's just too quick for me. It's going to be interesting to see how McGuire does against him.
Well, you should remember, too, what Tennessee's defensive people did to Testaverde in Miami in the Sugar Bowl a couple of years. One of the brilliant coaching jobs. It's a matchup of contrast. It should be a lot of fun. It is the 5th Kickoff Classic from the Meadowlands in New Jersey, and we hope you enjoy it this afternoon on ABC Sports.
First game of the season, both Iowa and Tennessee, as you alluded to, will do a lot of experimentation. Both teams brought a lot of players, and in keeping with that, Iowa has a lineup change in the running back position. Kevin Harmon will start at halfback. Grant Goodman will start at fullback in place of Rick Bayless and David Hudson. But that's just Hayden Fry's way of saying, congratulations, gentlemen, on practicing very well and very hard during the spring and the summertime. We will see a lot of Bayless and a lot of Hudson early and often.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. The McGuire brothers, 39, and is now adding to it. The officials now getting ready for the toss and the beginning of the ball game with Joe Klimshot, the referee, Carl Crowley, the umpire, Joe Reichwein, the head linesman, Joe Carroll, the line judge, the field judge, Tom Tomzik, Carter Lohr, the side judge, and Ted DiFilippo is your back judge. Though we showed earlier the temperature to being at 63, it'll be much warmer on the field. Let's listen.
I will catch it. If I fail to catch it, we will toss it again. Are you ready? Tails was the call. It is a head. It is your choice. You may take it this half or the second half.
They want the ball.
They want the ball now. You have to kick. Which goal will you defend? All right, put your backs that way, gentlemen. Okay. Tennessee won. They will receive. Iowa will defend this goal.
So Tennessee wants the football, and that figures when they want to find out early. Bob, I'd be surprised if we don't see a foot race in the first series.
Well, Johnny Majors said coming in that our offense may have to carry the load for this ball club for a few games until our defense gets settled. The defense lost 7 starters, and as I said, the offense returned 8 starters, so there's no question that the strength of the Tennessee team is on the offense.
Just to give you some idea, of course, everything depends on field position in the game of football. You accept that when you start saying anything about it. But to give you an idea of what the Francis to Miller combination provided last year, they had these kind of plays. One for 70 yards against Alabama. They had a 44-yarder against Memphis State, 51 yards against Vandy, and 50 yards against Vandy. So Anthony Miller is a home run hitter.
There is no question that Anthony Miller, number 7, will be the special player on this Tennessee team. That's not to say that they don't have some other receivers that have the speed and quickness and can run with the ball. All 3 of Tennessee's top 3 receivers also handle the kick return, so you know they must be able to run with the football.
And it is the Tennessee speed that worries Iowa most. But on the other hand, the Tennessee people are worried deeply about their young people that have to play on the defensive side of the ball today. The return people for Tennessee will be wide receivers. That figures, doesn't it? Thomas Woods, Anthony Miller, and if they should decide to send 3 back, the other would be Terrence Cleveland. George Murphy will be doing the kicking for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And we may see, you don't see very many freshmen playing at Iowa. We could see a young man named Skillet today doing some kicking for Iowa as they try to get a little seasoning. As we said, the 2 coaches have treated this to a large degree like a bowl game. They've let the young people have some fun, but they have also worked them very hard at the beginning of what will amount to, if these 2 teams should wind up in a postseason game, a very long season.
Well, both teams, Keith, came to New York, the New York area a few days ago. Both of them saw Broadway play as we take a look at Woods, the kick returner for Tennessee.
He's the man they want to bring back. Up in front of him will be the Davis tailbacks. It's Keith and Vando. Not related. So we're ready to go with a kickoff classic at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. That's a good kick. It's high. Hangs up there. Goes to the 5. Woods coming right. Gets pinned in and dropped at about the 19-yard line. Now here's the offense for Tennessee. Simons, Galbraith, Kirk, Bruin still line up. The heart of the Tennessee offensive front will be Galbraith and Bruin, the 2 guards, 265, 285 in the center, Kirk, 255. In the backfield, all speed burners. Outside, Miller. On the other side, Rollins. And the tight ends at Tennessee usually have some speed, too. Cleveland, very quick at the wing back. The running backs will be Davis, that is Keith Davis, and Charles Wilson. Jeff Francis, Mount Prospect, Illinois. Gonna throw it on the first play of the ball game. Gets it away, and it goes to Wilson out of the backfield, and Wilson is up across the 30 to a first down near the 34.
Of course, Johnny Majors and the Tennessee Volunteers know that Iowa is going to pay a lot of attention to their wide receivers with all the speed. A good first call of the game, you send the receivers deep and throw it to your back coming out of the backfield. Iowa with a good tackle there. It's another first down.
From the 34 of Tennessee, Rollins and Middlebrooks now 2 tight ends of the Tennessee lineup, and they'll run the ball as Keith Davis carries out near the 37, brought down by Joe Schuster, defensive tackle. The defensive unit for the hitter. And Francis looks, quick pop, comes to Miller, blockers in front, pulling guard out there, shakes him loose. He's got a first down as he reaches the 47 of Tennessee, and Dwight Sistrunk, the free safety, made the stop.
This is a wide receiver screen, a little fake. Both wide receivers were on this side of the field. Miller comes back for the safe screen pass and then uses his speed and running ability to get upfield. Tennessee will do that a lot this afternoon.
Rollins is out now. Moore is in with Woods. And you've got 5 wide receivers, but Tennessee stays with the ground game as Charles Wilson, a senior out of Pritchard, Alabama, carries. Reggie Cobb, a redshirt freshman from Knoxville, steps into the tailback position, number 34. Tennessee giving Iowa a lot of different offensive looks. Francis pops it, gets it to Miller, but playing heady on the left corner spot is James Pipkins, a sophomore.
Defensive backs from last year.
It's third down and a long 5 for Tennessee near the Iowa 48. Francis straight back. Gets good protection, steps up and will carry it himself, will dive for the marker and get a first down near the Iowa 40. Schuster and Puck, the tacklers. J.J. Puck, senior, Cedar Rapids. So Tennessee is moving the ball, moving the chains upfield. They're just short of the Iowa 40. They have it first down, and you're going to see probably at least 50 people on each side play today, maybe even more. Bernard McGuire is in there for the first time today for the Vols, and looks like Francis checks off. Gonna run it. Davis. No. Cobb. Reggie Cobb, who is 205 pounds, and they want to season him as much as they can early on because they need him. They need a big tailback that can move that ball for them.
In talking with Johnny Majors, Cobb is listed third on the depth chart, but he said that he is going to get him in there early because he is something special. He's got the speed and quickness and the durability that they would like to have in there more often this year.
He picked up almost 4 yards. Call it second down and a long 6. And again, Francis, watching the Iowa defensive people move around a little bit, is checking off, changing his play. Big fullback, Howard, William Howard, weighs in, as we said, at 240 and has pretty good acceleration for a man that size.
I think what you're seeing here is the experience of Jeff Francis at quarterback really sets the tone for the whole ball game. On the other side, Iowa's quarterback is new. This is going to be his first start. You know he's going to be a little bit nervous. For Tennessee, they've got an experienced leader out there in Jeff Francis. He's got all kinds of weapons to play with, and he is just coolly taking them down the field.
They've run the ball 5 times so far in this opening possession, and 5 different people have carried it. They pitch it back, goes to Howard. Howard running out of the tailback position, and the big guy slams it for a first down at the Iowa 27-yard line, and that is the 6th different offensive look that Tennessee has shown Iowa.
Howard, number 35, is listed as a fullback, had to play tailback a lot last year, did a lot of the tough running, short yardage and goal line. In fact, led the nation at one point in scoring until he himself was injured. If we take a look at Hayden Fry, he knew that his defense would be a problem.
Well, I tell you, Bob, if Tennessee continues to grind it like this and stick it in the end zone, that's really going to jack them up. Francis straight back to throw it, pops it down the middle, had a man wide open and missed him. The receiver, number 3, Nate Middlebrooks, the tight end, was lonesome. There wasn't anybody within 6-7 yards of him, and Francis just simply missed him.
And you saw a good shot of it in the middle of the field. Iowa sometimes will blitz their linebackers, but still play a 3-deep zone. Let's take a look at the end of it. Now, Middlebrooks really didn't give him a good target. He was drifting away from him. Francis didn't know where he was going to stop.
So they put big William Howard back in that setback position, but Francis drops the throw, and he'll go down as Joe Schuster gets the...
Haight, the brother of the New York Jet offensive lineman, and he is projected as an all-Big Tenner.
Loss is all the way back to the 34. They've got to go inside the 17. It is third down and 17. Francis has got a problem, dumps it off. Pass is incomplete, and it brings up 4th down and 17 for Tennessee. And the ball is back on the 34. All right, let's see if we get a call to Rich, the place kicker. Bill Rich, Jr. out of Fort Lauderdale, number 17, is on the field. Interesting story on Phil Rich, Bob. In 1984, he saw an ad the University of Tennessee Chattanooga had put in the newspaper. They wanted a punter. So he goes over. He doesn't make the team as a punter. Didn't think really he could succeed at Tennessee with its great history of punters. Came over and became the place kicker. The ball is down. The kick is up. 51-yard try. No good. Hooked it left. Long enough, but he couldn't hold the line with it. And so Tennessee is impressive grinding along, but the Hawkeyes get a big play from Joe Schuster, and they stop him. About to take his first snap. His brother Mark, the baseball Grant Goodman, will be at fullback. But we will see a lot of Dave Hudson and Rick Bayless before this day is done. He handles the first snap all right. He gives the ball to Kevin Harmon, who is from Laurelton, New York. And the 200-pound senior, younger brother of Ronnie Harmon of Buffalo, moves the ball up to the 38-yard line, so he picks up the better part of 4 on his first carry.
Helps to look over the line of scrimmage.
Dave Hudson is in there at fullback now. McGuire's first pass of the ball game. He's going to air it out. He's got Quinn Early downfield, and a good defensive play knocked it away. Quinn Early from Great Neck, New York, has the ball slapped out of his hands by the free safety, Kelly Days. Days playing center field for Tennessee.
Let's go back to what we were saying earlier about Hayden Fry being an innovator, having a few surprises. The first pass that he asked his young quarterback to throw is what he does best. He lets him throw the ball deep downfield to his speed receiver, Quinn Early. I think it's a good way to kind of blow it out. If you got any nerves, let's just get rid of them right off the bat.
Iowa going to wide sets now. Put it in the air. Great catch by Early. Quinn Early, who's quite an artist. His brother's in the commercial art business, and Quinn quite a artist himself, but a very clever receiver. Handoff goes to Kevin Harmon, and Kevin Harmon is ridden down by the blitzing wild bunch of Tennessee. Cedric Klein, the strong safety, was blitzing, and he got his man.
The guard, Divis, number 58, will pull and lead. He gets knocked off, and Klein, as you said, blitzing across the line of scrimmage. One thing about Ken Donahue, the defensive coordinator for the Volunteers, he won't sit there. He's going to do something different. He's not going to wait for you to attack him. He's going to be across that line of scrimmage.
Loss of 6 yards. Ball comes back inside the 42. McGuire turns on a little delay, gives it to Harmon. Good spin by Harmon. Good pursuit by Tennessee. And they stop him just short of midfield. In that lineup for Iowa, that's Dave Alexander at the right guard position. Not Anderson, as we showed it. Now you see, now here comes that head game between Ken Donahue and young McGuire. Tennessee gave him a whole different defensive look. He did the right thing, I guess, Bob. He called timeout. He'll go talk to the man about it. We'll be back.
Let's go back and take a look at the young McGuire. If you wonder why he called timeout, the 2 linebackers here are going to move into the line. The free safety's going to move up. He knows there's a blitz coming. He probably didn't know how to get out of it. As you see the 2 linebackers moving up, the safety in the deep middle coming up. As Keith said, the mind game begins, and this is what McGuire is going to see from the old. I told you, I spoke with him yesterday. I talked to Donahue, very impressive. And this is what you see right here McGuire's looking at. He's looking at those linebackers. You can't see their eyes because the sun is behind them.
From the 45, 3rd down and 12 for the Hawkeyes. And whistle stop him.
Back, a lot of leadership. He's got to be a little bit uncertain in his first game, especially up in this area, national television.
And that penalty came off a timeout. McGuire going deep again, loops it down. Early's there. He's got it. Boy, he's a heck of a receiver. That was pretty good coverage by Andre Kramer. And the big kid put it a mile high on the... That one good for 38 yards, and the Hawkeyes are knocking on the door down at the Tennessee 23. And a deep drop set up a screen. Ball goes to Harmon. Kevin Harmon to the sidelines and out of bounds at the 16-yard line. All right, they send Early up now to the top of your picture. Morrow is to the left side or bottom of the picture. He's got one-on-one coverage back there. Ball is handed off inside. Ball goes to Dave Hudson, 235-pound senior out of Waxahachie, Texas. And he's inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. Keith DeLong, of course, that's a famous name in Tennessee football history. Remember Steve, I'm sure many of you do, and his dad. 33 is his number, 210-pound linebacker. You don't see the linebackers at Tennessee oftentimes big. They're not terribly big.
I remember one that played with me, the original Miami Dolphins, named Frank Emanuel.
Yep.
He was a pretty good college player. Never turned out to be a great pro player, but certainly was a fine player in his own right.
too much time.
Looking at the defense, or they go to blitz. What am I going to check to? It's not unusual.
They got Early and Morrow together on the top of the picture. They're going that way with it. Ball is thrown to Quinn Early. Reaches around as he comes spinning around in front of Keith DeLong and makes the catch. He is just short, however, of the first down. They had put the two wide receivers together for the first time today, and they're just about a yard short.
Taking a look at Early, number 1. As you see the blitz coming to the inside. If this ball would have been further to the outside, he may have been able to catch it and keep going. But as it is, it's a little behind him. It's a nice catch, and it's a short situation for a first down. Maybe 4th and 1, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
Harmon is the beat man out of the power I. It goes to the up man, Hudson, and Hudson over the right side behind Anderson and Alexander, and Wester will get the first down for Iowa. And they're going to mark it at the Tennessee 11. 155 pounds, and Victor Pepper.
And what did Hayden say when we asked him about it? He says, we've talked about it.
We've talked about it. Flags in the game, the big tight end. Their tight ends stand upright. They lob it for Early. He won't get this one. Pretty good coverage there by Victor Peppers. As Johnny Major said, he's not very big, but he can jump out of town, and you got a penalty flag thrown at the goal line. So let's see what that's all about. Peppers had the inside position. I didn't see all that much contact between them, but then my angle's different.
Pass interference on the offense.
I thought so.
15 yards, loss of down, second down.
See, Peppers had the inside position, and Early, trying to get to the ball, was pushing and shoving him a little bit. So let's take a look at it.
Well, let's take a look at it. Peppers, number 8, is the man we were talking about, only 5'8". There's Early. You can't really see it from this angle, but he may have been pushing the back of Peppers with his right hand. There's a little bit better angle.
Right there would be a shove just before the ball got there.
Can't really tell.
So as Joe Klimshot said, it's 15-yard penalty and loss of down. So it comes second down back at the 26. It gives the ball to Hudson, and Hudson stacked up by the Tennessee pursuit. So both teams moved the ball pretty well until they got down toward Hallelujah Land, and things have gotten a bit stickier.
And most of that yardage was passing. 58 yards passing and only 8 yards rushing, so they're doing it on the arm of McGuire.
Well, they tested the 5'8" cornerback.
They sure did. Yep. Like Major said, he could jump, and he certainly fought that one off.
Third down and 24. McGuire to throw. Goes short with it. Intended for Kevin Harmon out of the backfield, and he's sawed in half by Andre Kramer, number 1, the senior from Baltimore for Tennessee. And that'll bring up 4th down.
The blitz goes on. Watch this man here. They're all going to blitz. The safety's going to come out of the middle of the field. Unfortunately for McGuire, he didn't have anybody in the deep middle of the field. To the left of your screen, the pressure was there, and he just had to dump it off short.
Yeah, if he'd have drifted a tight end down in there, it would have been a dynamite play for him, but he didn't. And now Rob Houtland comes into the ball game. Houtland, of course, with that last gasp field goal to win the Holiday Bowl for them. The kick is up. It's plenty long, and it's good. So at 4 minutes and 53 seconds, a 42-yard field goal from Rob Houtland gives the Iowa Hawkeyes the lead over Tennessee, 3-0. Kickoff Classic is going to be just as good as the others have been. Last year was a dandy ball game. Iowa leading 3-0 on a 42-yard field goal that came after 14 plays. Hawks had the ball 5 minutes and 9 seconds. All right, Iowa will kick off. George Murphy, a junior, sidewinder, 5'9", 150, from Greenwood, South Carolina. Telecast of this 1987 Kickoff Classic being produced in association with Raycom Sports, and we're ready now with a kickoff. Lead man is Thomas Wood, sophomore from Gallatin, Tennessee. Again, it's a very high kick, angles toward the sideline. Woods lets it bounce, picks it up on the 2, didn't have any choice. And he's nailed at about the 17. Coming up next, ABC Sports will present the 87th U.S. Amateur Golf Championship, and graduated from the University of Tennessee this year. So I imagine that volunteer got off the golf course in a hurry and went looking for a television set. It's first down. Ball's now short of the 15. Francis will run it. Give it to Reggie Cobb. And Cobb will get it up for 4 to the 18-yard line.
Let's go in and take a look in the trenches, at the play in the trenches. A couple of key battles. 64 there is Haight. He'll be going up against an All-American in Galbraith, number 76, and also Bruin, number 75. Both guards for Tennessee. Very strong players. It'll be an interesting battle we'll be following today.
Second down, call it 7. More 7 than 6, and Francis rolls it out. Throws it in the ground. He was trying to dump the ball to Keith Davis. Davis really...
I was kidding him the other night. I said, you and I got a lot in common. We were both runner-ups.
3rd and 7. He's got 3 wideouts. Pressure's on. 64 is after him. Haight got loose. Francis's pass is thrown into the sidelines, incomplete. So that time, Big Dave Haight this morning. Bob Garman spins it. High, soft spiral. Peter Marciano, nephew of Rocky from Brockton, Mass, is cut down at the 45-yard line. A 46-yard punt, a 9-yard return. Time remaining first quarter. 3 minutes and 49 seconds, and the Iowa Hawkeyes have the ball at a 3-0 lead. Dr. Julian, Bill Julian brought the band. They're here. The cheerleaders are here, and I'm told close to 9,000 folks came from Tennessee to see the ball game. All right, Iowa with very good field position. Their own 45-yard line. Harmon and Hudson are the setbacks behind McGuire. Early and Morrow. Morrow has not seen the ball yet. He's a possession-type receiver. Will work over the middle. Tennessee defense creeping around. 4-man front. McGuire stands up, goes for Early. Off his hands, incomplete. Peppers came in and belted him, but actually the ball was right in his hands, and he had the opportunity to catch that ball.
The ball was a little bit high, Keith. The timing was not real good on him. McGuire has a limited number of checkoffs, and it seemed like that time he was using one of them. Really didn't have the ball out there. He was open, but when the ball got there, Peppers had already closed that margin and hit him just as he was catching it.
Second down, 10. Straight back. Whips it too high. That pass was intended for Jim Morrow, the senior.
But the other disadvantage is the other defensive people are going to see you pretty well, too.
3 wideouts on 3rd and 10. Pressure on him. Pass thrown to Mike Flagg, the tight end. Flagg's a big man, 6'6". And he goes pounding along, and they're not going to give him the first down. Go to mark him 1 yard short. Kelly Ziegler was riding him like a bronco, and just Flagg at 6'6", 250 just kept on carrying the first down. They're going for it on 4th and 1. Give it to Hudson. He dives. He's got it. He didn't get it by all that much, but the way they've marked him, it looks to me like they're going to be in contact with the end of the chain. That's a bit of a gamble early on in the ball game to go on 4th and 1 at your opponent's 46-yard line. They've got it right down precisely on the 45. It's just a matter of whether or not the nose of the ball is going to reach the end of the chain. No, it's 2 inches short.
Well, it was the same play that Fry went for on 4th down a little earlier in the game and made it. This time, Ken Donahue in the press box changes his defense as we take a look from the end zone. Ziegler is 49. He fills right in the gap. And there's penetration. And DeLong, number 33, is there to put the stop.
Dave Alexander took a hit, the right guard. He was the man that they were trying to follow, and he got turned aside a little bit. And Iowa, starting at their own 45, now gives over the ball to Tennessee at their 45, and a heck of a play by Merton Hanks. They were trying to dump the ball to the wide.
Being from Texas.
Tennessee's been incomplete now on 5 straight passes, second down and 10. And there's some movement. Right tackle for Tennessee, Eric.
Man, and I'm sure he's got some nerves, too.
Hard to control that big body once he starts moving. They'll run it. Looking for some daylight. It is Reggie Cobb. There isn't much there as Quast comes over to lock his legs. Brad Quast, 6'2", 225, a sophomore from Des Plaines, Illinois.
Quast was an outstanding linebacker as a freshman last year before he was in any true freshman play in major college football. But Quast is something special.
Particularly at Iowa. Third down, and it's about 12 now for Tennessee after the penalty. Down the middle, the ball goes to Anthony Miller. Miller's short of the first down as the Hawkeyes round him up at midfield. And Tennessee will look at 4th down, and they'll have to punt it. And again, it's Brad Quast.
I think he's trying to protect McGuire at all. I think he's doing what he has to do best.
Some pressure there, but Garmin gets it out. Good kick. But it takes an Iowa bounce and goes on into the end zone and will be a touchback. So a 50-yard punt, no return on it. Iowa gets the ball back. First down at their own 20 with 1 minute and 48 seconds to go in the first quarter. On Monday night, September 7th, on ABC's College Football, we open our regular season with a primetime Lorenzo fight at 8 Eastern Time Monday night here on ABC, September 7th. Quinn Early goes wide for the Hawkeyes, and they'll throw it on first down. Wanted to go deep with it, but Tennessee pressure finally chases McGuire out of the pocket. The pocket broke down, and there's a loss on the play of a yard or so. Tracy Hayworth, who is an outside backer, another sophomore from Tennessee, in to make the play. Now we're going to see Rick Bayless for the first time in the ball game at tailback. Iowa so far has run for only 7 yards. They have thrown for 67.
Bayless was an outstanding player for Iowa last year. Made the All-Big Ten team, led this team in catching and rushing, and was their most valuable player, filling in for Harmon.
He's got it. But the play was slow to develop. McGuire had a little trouble coming away from the snap, then seemingly had a bit of a delay in getting the ball to Bayless, and he'll move it up just over the 20. So they're at 3rd and long as Cedric Klein, the strong safety, made the hit.
Well, Klein was the first one into the backfield as we again see this blitzing, stunning, aggressive, attacking style of defense that Tennessee is employing. Hit him in the backfield but didn't bring him down, but it's got to be a concern for Iowa, this aggressive style of defense. Of course, you can burn it if you can block it.
3rd and 9. Bayless with the ball. And Rick from Hugo, Minnesota will get it up to the 25, and the Hawkeyes will have to punt. Mark Adams is one of those scheduled to do the punting. The time ticking down. They may wait till the end of the quarter and have time to talk and lead the second quarter with the punt, and that's what they'll do. Time has run out after 1 quarter of play at Giant Stadium, the Meadowlands. The 5th kickoff classic. Iowa leads Tennessee 3-0. Tennessee in the 5th kickoff classic at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. Iowa about to punt the ball away. We'll pause here 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Greasy, Mike Adamley, ABC Sports, and Mark Adams is out to do the punting now. He led the nation, junior college nation, in punting last year, 45-7. He transferred from Eastern Utah Junior College. Gets it out, didn't get all of it, got some pressure. And it takes a Tennessee bounce, but it is very quickly covered by a pursuing Hawkeye. And
To wear the headsets on a sideline and enjoying yourself a little bit.
Very beautiful day here, and two very fine football teams playing, and we really enjoyed it because we open up next week.
What have you thought so far of young McGuire, quarterback?
Threw the devil out of it a while ago, about 60 yards, and they're trying to pressure me, doing very well. I think it's a very good football game.
Okay, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the game.
got a pretty good team building down at Clemson, too. A lot of folks think that's a team that could be in the top 10, if not the top 5 this year. Danny Ford, one of Bears' boys. On first down, the Volunteers run it as Francis gives it to William Howard, and Howard just blows right in behind Bruin, Galbraith, and Kirk, and he picks up 3 yards. Second down and 7. Clemson's got Georgia Tech both, I think, at Clemson this year. So I really look for the Tigers to be tough. I really do. From midfield. Francis gives it to Howard. A couple of yards. And so they're now at third and about 6. Now they go double wide left with Cleveland and Miller. Cleveland in motion. Francis, a lot of time, zips it good. First down, Tennessee at the Iowa 33. Caught by Alvin Harper, who was inside at the wingback position. And Alvin is a redshirt freshman out of one of the more colorful communities in the state of Florida, Frostproof.
And he is something special, as you say. He's a redshirt freshman, but he's not going to get a lot of playing time. Right there in the middle of your screen, just a curl. He's 6'5", and he's a pretty good ball player. A lot of the times, Tennessee will go with 3 wide receivers, maybe 60% of the time during the ball game.
First down, call it, well, it's just inside the 34. Gonna run it. Big guy Howard to the 30. That is the first down for the Volunteers, incidentally, since they opened the game with their first possession. Iowa was threatening to take control of the ball game, but not much scoring so far. 3-0 Hawkeyes.
You see Doug Matthews signaling in the plays. He gets them from upstairs. Walt Harris, the offensive coordinator, calls the plays for the Volunteers.
Ball's at the 32 of Iowa. Well, they're grinding it out with the big back Howard, and he'll move it down near the 28 for a pickup of about 4 on that carry.
Guy that gets all the publicity.
Third down and a long 4. And they'll throw. Pass is good. First down, Keith Davis. Davis to the 10. Inside the 10, first and goal, Volunteers. That's the tailback catching that one. You get preoccupied with those wide receivers, and they'll burn you out of the backfield.
Take a look at it from field level as Haight, 64, is kept out of there. Everything seems to be knocked up into the middle of the field. Francis kind of slingshots at. You saw him looking downfield straight at us. He wanted to throw the ball downfield. Davis was an outlet and a pretty good one.
It's at the 9, first and goal. Roland Poles is in the backfield for Tennessee. Redshirt freshman from Caledonia, New York. And carrying it is Reggie Cobb. And Cobb will get down around the 5. There was another sidearm pass completed here last night in this stadium when the Jets and Giants played each other by another Tennessee quarterback, Ben Ryan.
Take a look at this, Keith. This is Galbraith, the All-American. Watch as he comes across and traps on the play. A nice big hole. Galbraith coming around, leading up on puck number 32 and really stuffing him into the ground.
And they've got the ball at the Iowa 3. Second down and goal. Wilson is in the backfield, number 32. He's in motion. Ball is pitched to Reggie Cobb to the 1. And it'll be third and goal. Well, we're getting some pretty good jawboning down there in the trenches right now.
It's a pretty good ball game, Keith. For this early in the year, you really don't know what to expect. It's still August. Johnny Majors has his team up here. He said the offenses may have to carry us for a while. Both teams are playing very well. Very few mistakes.
Charles Wilson, William Howard, Roland Poles. They'll work out of the power I now. out. They got Wilson up there in that wingback slot. But they'll probably motion him back, and they do. And a pitch to the deep man, Cobb. He dives. He's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. Howard it is. William Howard, number 35. Again, there is the value of having a guy like Howard around because he played both fullback and a tailback, and this time he lined up at tailback.
Watch the block this man makes over here as Cobb takes the pitch. He just comes over. There's really no suspense in who's going to get the ball. Just a tough man gets into the end zone. Last year, as we said, was one of the leading scorers in the nation.
Phil Rich for the extra point. And it's good. Hit it on the nose out of Lee England's hold, and so we are at 10:09 to go in the first half, and Tennessee goes to the lead 7-3. There's big William Howard, the power man in the goal line territory for Tennessee, sticking it in the end zone. The Volunteers take the lead 7-3, and Tennessee will kick it off. Phil Rich do the kicking, and they're 2 men deep for Iowa. Peter Marciano, 26, and Kevin Harmon.
Howard
and Quinn Early. Quinn Early. No, Marciano's not back there on the kickoff. It is Harmon and Early.
Excuse me, Keith. I was just going to say that Howard was in the doghouse, Johnny Major's doghouse, when he came back for practice this summer. He didn't seem to have the intensity. He wasn't in the best of shape, so they dropped him from first team to fourth team very quickly, and he has a way, though, when the games start, that even if you don't start the game, he gets in there pretty quick and does make an impact on the game.
Chuck Hartlieb is warming up on the sidelines for Iowa. We might well see him now at quarterback. Going out and looked at the tee for some reason. It does look like it's setting up a bit, doesn't it?
A little bit more than I'm used to seeing.
All right, here's the kick. It's taken short by Grant Goodman, who started today at fullback, and Goodman shows some quickness as he bolts up across the 30 to about the 32 or 3. And Darren Miller brought him down for Tennessee. So the Hawkeyes will get good field position now, and let's see who goes out there at quarterback. It'll be McGuire. And you got Bayless now in there at tailback for Iowa. And Goodman stays in at fullback. So it's Bayless and Goodman. To throw it. Got a man on the sidelines early. Pass is caught for a first down up near midfield. Mark him at the...
I'm impressed with McGuire. He seems to be doing everything that Hayden Fry said he could do.
Early has caught 4 passes now for 69 yards for Iowa. Want to throw it again. Goes underneath to the fullback, Goodman, and Goodman will pick up 2 yards. As Tennessee... Second down. Bayless is out. On a throw. To the sidelines for the tight end, and it's just a bit too long. Diving for the ball was Mike Flagg. The Tennessee lead. Bayless back in. McGuire has a ton of time. Gets it off to Early. Tipped away. Incomplete, and that's a play for Peppers. Victor Peppers, 5'8", got in front that time and showed how high he can fly.
This is an ill-advised throw for a quarterback if you want to stay friendly with your receivers. He kind of hangs it up there. You see the safety coming to the right. Peppers makes the play, but Days gets the hit. And I'm sure that Quinn Early is going to go back and say, hey, try to throw that ball a little bit quicker and get it to me before the safety does.
Here's the punt by Mark Adams. Has trouble, but gets it away. Hitting it for the corner, and it's going to be a good one. It's out of bounds at the 2. So they kill it at the 2-yard line as Mark Mazzari, a wide receiver, if they try to grind it out of here, or if they try to have a little foot race early.
Well, they've got 3 wide receivers in the game.
Up. Handed inside to William Howard, and Howard gets it near the 5. And you got Cobb and Howard now as the setbacks. Keep it on the ground. And get it out around the 6 or 7 as Cobb that time. And they widen the field now with their wideouts. And you had some contact. Iowa, of course, Dave hates it.
Well, I don't see how you can have a no play out of that, but you saw, watch when the ball is, watch when he jumps offside. Now he's going to snap the ball. See, nobody else moves on offense, so the center, Anderson, just did it on, I mean, Kirk did it on himself, and if he was offside, it would be offside to me.
Davis and Howard, the setbacks. French is going to throw it out of his end zone. Got to hurry. Is that ball loose? It is going to be called a fumble. The beanbag goes down. Iowa has the football. Myron Kepi covered it in the end zone. It was Mike Burke for Iowa. The Hawkeyes change quarterback. Chuck Hartley goes in, gives the ball to Bayless. Bayless dives and gets stuffed by Keith DeLong, an inside linebacker for Tennessee. The ball was put down outside the 1, close to the 2. They now mark him at the 1.
We talk about the Tennessee team putting their second quarterback and unit in. If I were going to be the second team quarterback and unit, this is where I'd want to start, on the other team's 1-yard line.
Right.
Going in. Hartley, I'm sure they were standing over there raising their hands. The second and third string quarterbacks are Hayden Fry. Hey, coach, I'll take over now. Let me go.
Hartley, a senior out of Woodstock, Illinois. Hudson and Marshall Cotton in the backfield now. And they hand it off inside to Bayless, and Tennessee has held him short of the goal line. Volunteers are really closing down inside.
One of the unusual things that Iowa does is their 2 tight ends stand up on the line of scrimmage, but it's hard to block this way. Let's watch the one on the right side and see if he gets his block. He gets stuffed into the backfield, and the runner is stuffed also. I kind of like it in some situations on the field, but on the goal line, I think I'd have him down there in a 3.
Well, the basic strength of the offensive line for Iowa would be their 2 tackles, right?
2 tackles and their tight ends.
Yep.
But it's tough to get a block on the goal line from a standing position when that linebacker's trying to.
3rd and goal. Hartley throws it, knocked down by number 49, Kelly Ziegler. It is 4th down. It was intended for the tight end, Cook, but Ziegler was right there.
Play action fake on 3rd down. Maybe on 1st or 2nd it would have helped hold Ziegler, but Ziegler gets up. 2 times earlier in the game, Hayden Fry went on 4th and 1. He's 50-50. He's going to go again here right now. Tennessee's defense is really holding their backs up to the wall.
Hartley keeps it, throws it out, it's intercepted! The ball is picked off by Tennessee linebacker. It is Darren Miller running as hard as he can. Whoa, he's puffing, the aches and pains are coming, he's diving for the corner. He's got a touchdown! You talk about a cruncher. It was 4th and goal from the 1. Hartley optioned down the line, tried to pitch it back, and the ball is intercepted by Darren Miller, a linebacker.
1st and goal from the 1. They couldn't get in. The Tennessee defense, you got to give them all the credit, as Hartley was tackled at the last minute, said, let me get the ball back to the tailback, and Miller was really waiting for somebody to catch him. He was good for 50 yards, and after that he says, when are they going to catch me?
Yeah, it was huffing and puffing. It'll go down as a 96-yard interception return. Bill Rich kicks it. Good. I think they ought to give old Darren the rest of the day off.
Give him some oxygen. Here's the play again, as Hartley right here is going to come down the line of scrimmage. The ball would be pitched back here. The defensive man is going to hit Hartley first. Another defensive defender, Miller, is going to come in and make the play. Right there, he's hit. Miller sees it all the way, and then he's off to the races. He said, all right, what am I going to get caught? I'm not this fast. Somebody's got to be getting close.
Again, though, Bob,
I guess.
you know, team speed shows up here, too, doesn't it? But the way they reacted to it, and were able to get on downfield and help him.
That's right.
So, a big turnaround on that one. 14-3 ball. Turnaround in the ball game. Iowa had it first and goal just outside the 1. They wind up Tennessee getting a 96-yard intercepted fumble for a touchdown run from linebacker Darren Miller. And they lead 14-3 with 5 minutes and 46 seconds to play in the first half. Frankly, I thought it was a poor decision on Hartlieb to try to lob the ball out like that.
Well, it was his first series in the game, and he wasn't really into the game. You'd think that if you're ever a safe place to put in your backup, it's on the 1-yard line, but I don't know. Hindsight is always 20/20, I guess.
Yep. A low spinning kick going toward the sideline and will go out of bounds, and that'll cost them 5, and they'll bring it back.
From the Iowa defense turning the ball over on Francis, getting the fumble on the 1-yard line, to giving up a touchdown for Tennessee. That's a 14-point swing.
Incidentally, while they're bringing the ball back, a dear old friend. I mean, they just don't make him any better. 14-3 ball game now. From the 30, Rich will kick it off. Bouncing downfield, hard to handle sometimes down there. Picked up by Kevin Harmon, and Harmon's picked up by the Volunteers at about the 29-yard line. Brought down by Andre Kramer. ABC's NFL preseason. Little delay, handed off to Richard Bass, junior out of Omaha, coming around. And he'll pick up 3, second down and 7. There's Darren Miller, the linebacker who goes in the books with a 96-yard intercepted fumble.
Miller was an inside linebacker last year, and because of graduation, was moved to the outside, and certainly is playing very well there today.
He showed some moves. He's evading tacklers. I'm sure he expected to be crunched any time. On 2nd and 7, Hartlieb back to throw it. Pumps it once, goes underneath with it to Bass. And Bass breaks out of the pack, but will be short of the first down. Marion Hobby, California, where McGuire came from. They're going to be short of the first down, looks like. And it depends on the mark.
Is under the center.
First down from the 40 for the Hawkeyes. 2 tight ends now, Flagg and Cook in the lineup. You see both of them standing erect. And Hartlieb looking to throw it. Early's on this side. The pass is too high. He had to leave his feet. Made a one-handed grab. Second down and 10 with Bass and Harmon now in the backfield for Iowa. Hartlieb throwing. Missed him. He gave him a big chase, but missed him, and he turns it upfield and is very close to a first down. And they go for the first down, give it to Kevin Harmon. And Kevin, a 200-pounder, is hit by Kelly Ziegler, but he will have the first down as Jeff Francis watches from the sideline. He's accounted for 1 touchdown, but the defense bailed him out on the other one.
He's probably going over to Darren Miller and saying, yeah, you score anytime you can.
I'll hold the door for you. Can I carry your bag?
Yes, sir.
First down. Ball near the Tennessee 48. Hartlieb, little quick pop. Batted down. And that's Tracy Hayworth, I believe it. Getting in and getting the hand on the ball. Second down and 10. There's that little inside flip. Goes to Kevin Harmon. Harmon dancing for a first down and gets on the sidelines for a lot more. They don't get him out of bounds until he is at the Tennessee 26. Fine run. That incidentally goes as a forward pass for Hartlieb. First down now from the Tennessee 26 for Iowa. And inside, Richard Bass carries. He stands only 5'9", but he carries 225 pounds. And he's got the better part of 3 yards on that carry.
Punch.
Pressure on Hartlieb, gives it away inside, and carrying Kevin Harmon, and Kevin's got a touchdown. They were going after the quarterback. Harmon found some daylight in the middle. The Hawkeyes blocked it beautifully, and they put 6 on the board. 3-yard pass play. The conversion is good by Houtland, and the Hawkeyes are back in the ball game. With 1 minute and 36 seconds to play in the first half, leads. Iowa goes 70 yards, 10 plays in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Tighten the thing up. So Hartlieb in this first series failed miserably, but comes right back and directs. Of course, they went to a little different kind of an offensive arrangement, too.
Very true. Some safe passes.
Yep.
And give credit to Hayden Fry, the guy calling the plays. You know, Hartlieb was not throwing the ball downfield so well.
As George Murphy will kick it off. He gets it up well. From the 7. And follows his blocking up near the 33, maybe the 34. We're now at a minute and a half as Tennessee gets the ball, and they mark him on the 32. With Charles Wilson, the lone remaining back. Jeff Francis, the quarterback. On a throw. Batted in the air. Caught by a Tennessee man. Iowa man slapped it up. Tennessee man diving for it. And they're going to call it no catch. Dave Haight, guard Jeff Bruin, almost made the reception. 2nd down and 10. Sideline, Wilson. He was off balance.
Defense really has not gotten untracked. Maybe due to that Iowa big defensive front.
Well, there's a sample of it. Now, that's just hand fighting your way in. Kepi, 77, took a shot at it. Bob Garman is out to punt. 3rd kick of the day. First 2 good ones, 46 and 50. Deep man for Iowa, Peter Marciano. Iowa now got 8 men up front as they drop 2 off the block. No pressure on Garman. Spins it out of there. Pretty good kick. Going to be a tail dragger and take a Tennessee bounce. And go out of bounds down at the 11-yard line. Not too bad. Time rolled off on the rolling ball to 58 seconds. That's a 57-yard punt. That's the longest of his career.
That's why you like to see the punt returner get up there and fair catch that ball.
Harmon and Hudson behind him. And that ball goes to Harmon. And Harmon stacked up just about the line of scrimmage. Now it is Tennessee calling timeout. Hudson are in the backfield. Now he's going to throw it as far as he can to the other side of the field, and the pass is caught over there and caught at the 28-yard line by Quinn Early. Early just simply out-jumped Peppers on that play. That's a little swing pass out to Hudson. Hudson isn't going anywhere. He's going to lose about 2.5, 3 yards. Nice 2, I would think.
No, I always was. Defensive lineman, I always said, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Season. And Ohio State, in case you missed it, decided not to appeal the Chris Carter case. His career's done at Ohio State. Hartlieb's going to throw it on 2nd down and about 12. Goes long down the middle for the tight end. He's got his first down on the Tennessee 44. That stops the clock with 3 ticks remaining, and the only thing you can do now is hurry up and go the Hail Mary route.
Throw it deep.
No time to get your kicking unit on the field. Well, he's got time, and he's going big, and he throws for Cook, the tight end, and it is incomplete, and the half is over. So after the first 30 minutes, The Tennessee Volunteers lead the Iowa Hawkeyes by a score of 14-10 as Mazda presents the Kickoff Classic from Giant Stadium.
An important message on Harding.
Report and our score at halftime. Tennessee 14, Iowa 10. Game started a bit slowly as far as scoring is concerned. Iowa getting on the board first. Houtland 42-yard field goal, 3-0 after one. Then Tennessee came back to lead 7-3 on William Howard's 1-yard dive. Darren Miller intercepted a fumble and ran 96 yards with it to give Tennessee a 14-3 lead when it looked like Iowa was going to take the lead. And then to close out the scoring in the first half, Kevin Harmon, 23-yard pass from Chuck Hartlieb, and that's where we are, 14-10 in the 5th annual Kickoff Classic at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands, Secaucus, New Jersey, or it's actually Rutherford, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Right now, let's spend a moment with what's coming up on ABC.
Intellectual challenges of the 21st century. An ever-expanding library system centered in the campus, a distinguished Chairs of Excellence program that brings brilliant minds from around the world, and cultural and academic diversity to keep learning alive and exciting. At the University of Tennessee, we're building a great university.
We're at halftime in the 5th Kickoff Classic presented by Mazda. Tennessee leading Iowa 14-10. Beautiful day, good football game, and they're playing very well. I mentioned a moment ago that the game is being played in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Most of the people who came to New York are staying in Secaucus, New Jersey. So if somebody left home, you folks in Iowa and Tennessee said, I'm going to the Big Apple, they didn't. They're in Secaucus. But it's been a most pleasant outing, and we've got a half of football remaining with the Vols leading by 4 points.
Close ball game as we thought. A lot of points. I'm a little bit surprised at the lack of efficiency by the Tennessee offense. They got that one touchdown, but other than that, the passing game has really not been that great.
Well,
I think you have to give some credit to Iowa.
Dave Burnson just handed me this. Only 2 passes have been thrown to Anthony Miller, their top man, since that opening possession.
And what the Iowa Hawkeyes are doing in the secondary, they're playing deep, taking away all the deep passing that Francis and Tennessee likes to do, forcing him to throw short. And some of the times that the Iowa rush is getting to him is not because of the terrific rush, but more so that the secondary is covering the receivers.
I had the sense, though, in the closing moments that the Iowa defensive front might be gaining a little bit. They might be accelerating their pace just a bit.
You mean wearing them down?
Wearing them down.
That's going to happen, I think.
I think down in Tennessee they call that whooping.
I got to learn some of that vocabulary. But that's going to happen, I think. You would expect the size and strength of Iowa to maybe eventually wear down a little bit on Tennessee. Of course, Tennessee's got the speed. If they can run around it, they can do some things with it.
Some of the highlights of that first half now. Rob Houtland had a 42-yard field goal to give Iowa an early 3-0 lead, and then Tennessee took the lead on this play as William Howard dove in from a yard.
Well, this is the tailback. This is their bread and butter play. Pitch it wide, straight blocking, let him find just a crack, and then lower himself and just get into the end zone. He did this a lot last year.
The second Tennessee touchdown came in a very unlikely circumstance. Iowa had the ball 1st and goal at the 1. Now this play was 4th and goal from the 1. And watch number 45, Darren Miller, step in front of this errant lob.
Hartlieb, the quarterback who had just come in on this series, was trying to make something happen, trying to save. It was 4th down. He didn't have this in mind at all. He was trying to make a positive play, and this was a mistake. I'm sure Hayden Fry can live with this, and I'm sure that Miller was looking around for somebody to say, hey, help me out.
I'd like to point out, too, on that play, McDaniel, the Tennessee cornerback, came down and bumped 2 Iowa men out of the way. He's literally the man that kept Darren Miller to the tackle for Iowa, the down lineman, 6 tackles and 5 solo. I think that pretty well defines, really, the way the two teams play their defense, the way it's built.
And coming in, the question marks on both teams were their defense. I think their defenses are playing very well here today. And as we take a look at some offensive stats. Offensive first, the passing for Francis, 6 of 13 for 67 yards for their players. You take a look at the leading tacklers for Tennessee.
Both of them started out pretty well, but then it sort of, the defensive people began to assert themselves more and more and more as the game went along.
As you can see, on the 4th Tennessee possession, they finally scored. All the other ones were punts, and the first possession, they had the ball for 12 plays, but missed a long field goal of about 50 yards.
Keith, you know, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we were all a little bit worried about Tennessee's defense because they lacked some key people like defensive tackle Marco Vanek, who was out. He had surgery on his ankle. Mark, when will you be back for Tennessee, and what do you think of your teammates' play so far in the first half?
Well, I'm pleased with the way they're playing. We got some inexperienced guys out there, but I tell you what, they're getting out in there and they're fighting every play, and you can't ask anything more from freshmen and sophomores to go out there and fight hard every game and fight, you know, every play and bite and scratch. And as far as I'm concerned, the coaches are saying Auburn, but I'm hoping to be out there next week.
We've been all talking about Tennessee's defensive game plan, that Kenny Donahue would throw a lot of, you know, blitzes and things like that at Iowa's young quarterbacks. Has that been the key so far?
I think anytime you got Coach Donahue, we're gonna blitz a lot. I don't think we're over blitzing yet. I think the second half is gonna be a little different because I'm sure both teams are gonna come out firing the ball, and I think we'll be seeing a little more stunt action going on our part.
Psychologically, what is it like for you to stand here on the sidelines in a cast with crutches, watching your teammates play the first game of this 1987 college football season and listening to the crowd?
Well, I'm a little disappointed in myself. I feel like I shouldn't have let anything like this slow me down, but it's something that happened, and I'm sorry it happened this early in the time because I know they need the experience out there right now. But I'm on the sidelines, and I'm giving the guys all the encouragement I can, and I'm giving them a little boost. So I'm going to see if we can get out there and help them any way we can.
How did it happen?
I just had an offensive lineman roll up on. I was chasing the quarterback out of the pocket, and one of the linemen cut my leg.
Talk about bad luck, huh?
Yeah, you know, it's the breaks of the game, and I just got to go out there and come off it and play a little bit harder.
A lot of Tennessee fans here in the Meadowlands that hold the corner of the end zone over there. Bright orange and white.
Yeah, we got the greatest fans in the world. You can't ask for anything more. At home, we got 95,000. They bring 15,000 up here. It's a 10-hour trip. You just can't ask for anything more. Volunteer fans are the greatest in the nation.
Marco Vanek, the defensive tackle from Yorktown, Virginia, and happy to be from there.
Definitely, I love it.
Thank you. Keith?
All right, that's where most of the folks are staying. That's Secaucus, with the stadium being located in East Rutherford, and you see the Statue of Liberty far off there on the horizon. Now let's quickly look into some of the baseball scores. Important. Iowa. Quinn Early is back there with Peter Marciano, Kevin Harmon, and Kevin Harmon picks it up and comes upfield with it and gets a good return out of it. And Grant Goodman, the fullback, who was the short man in the... Dave Hudson is the lone remaining back now as Quinn Early comes to a wide position. And here's the first snap of the second half. Hartlieb throwing to the sidelines to Morrow. His first pass, Jim Morrow.
It's interesting that Iowa comes out, starts the second half with a 2 tight end offense.
Give it a big Dave Hudson. Hudson wiggling over the right side behind Alexander and Westby. Good protection. Morrow. Pass was a little high, and he was hanging out on the sidelines and got clotheslined by Cedric Klein.
Well,
he's not up either.
Good protection, as you can see. This is the double zone. There's 2 deep, and the safety, Klein, has good vision. This ball has got to be thrown a lot quicker and a lot flatter and get there a lot quicker to get it in there. You can play that kind of stuff.
The football is resting at the 45-yard line. Hawkeyes own it on their own side of the field. Mark Mazzeri has gone in now at the wide receiver spot, replacing Morrow. Fake right, hand it back the other way, give it to Hudson. And Hudson, strong man, it took a bunch to bring him back.
They're pretty high on him.
He gained about 6 yards on that carry, so call it 3rd down and 4. And look at Tennessee. They got 8 people up front. Now they peel off as Hartlieb drops the throw, goes down the middle, and he won't get that one. Quinn Early was sandwiched. Number 39, Kelly Days, and number 8, Victor Pepper.
Another look from the end zone. See, the defensive lineman forces him to throw. He has to throw it over the linebacker. That's a tough throw right there.
Yeah, and he took the defensive man down right on top of him. I think this is more a deflation than an injury. Terrence Cleveland is the deep man, and Mark Adams to do the punting, and they send everybody. They send 10 people, but And the pressure causes Adams to shank it, but in good luck, his shank rolls all the way down and out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 34-yard punt and no return. Davis and Wilson are in the eye. Francis has still got it. Hates after him, passes away, pass is intercepted. It is picked off by Kerry Burt, strong safety, senior out of Waterloo. With Kevin Harmon, the eye back. And Harmon's got it. Dives across the 30. Morrow is on his way to the clubhouse. Mike Adamle has a story on it. 7. Richard Bass is in the backfield. Hartlieb rolls it out. Passes away to Early on the sideline, but Early making the catch. This is Kevin Harmon to about the 13. The Iowa offensive front now beginning to get a pretty good
size and strength.
This is Kevin Harmon trying to go outside. Tennessee won't buy it, and they wrap him up back on the 20. Keith DeLong and Terry McDaniels, the leader on that defensive effort.
The trademark of a Tennessee defense is not the big, strong defensive player, but more quickness. And if you run laterally, they're liable to run it down. But if you run straight at them, Iowa's had success at doing that here today.
So that loss is 6 yards from the 14 back to the 20. Now it is 3rd down and 13. 3 wide receivers for Iowa. Hartlieb's pass is caught by Quinn Early. Quinn Early is caught at the 10-yard line by Andre Kramer. Ending place kicker. Hartlieb is the holder. He has a 27-yard field goal today. This one is popped through there. 42-yard field goal, I should say. This one 27. And at 10 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, it is now a 1-point lead for Tennessee. Of the 10 Iowa possessions have moved into Tennessee territory. 9 of 10, but they've produced only 13.
What does that tell you? It tells me that it's the first game of the year and they're not finishing off what they start.
Right. That's right. The left jab's working all right, but the right cross hasn't come into play yet.
Can't put them away.
No. All right, George Murphy's going to tee it up and kick it down the field, and waiting to receive it, number 4, Terrence Cleveland, sophomore out of Sweetwater, Tennessee. Another one of the speedsters. But so far, the Tennessee speed on offense has been pretty well controlled. Anthony Miller has not seen the ball since the very first possession of the ball game. Cleveland at the 3. Got a hole. Or they can scoot. He's out around the 34-yard line.
Cleveland is just one of the many wide receivers that they have on that roster this year. Take a look at the first-round draft picks out in the NFL. Wide receivers at Tennessee over the years. Started in '77 with Morgan, Stanley Morgan, Anthony Hancock, Willie Gault. Clyde Duncan went to the Cardinals, and Tim McGee, all first-round draft choices. Pretty impressive.
Carrying the ball is Reggie Cobb. Number 22, Dwight Sisson.
And Anthony Miller. Why does Penn State keep getting good linebackers? Or Purdue getting good quarterbacks? It's the tradition.
And the track program. Running the ball, but nothing there for Reggie Cobb that time as they deck him back on the 34-yard line. In comes another wide receiver. Anthony Miller is off the field right now. And Francis on 3rd down and 9 gets Heath. Not intercepted. Haight hit him. Sean Ridley dove for the ball. Ham hits it. Peter Marciano fields it, gets away from one, but the second man gets him. Takes him down at the 32-yard line. That's a 31-yard punt. Reggie Cobb made the tackle. Time remaining third quarter, 9 minutes and 22 seconds, 14-13 Tennessee, as Mazda presents the Kickoff Classic. Sense that the Hawkeyes' physical strength is beginning to assert itself. This series may very well tell us something. Hudson and Harmon are in the backfield. Hartlieb still the quarterback. He's going to throw it. Wanted to throw the short pattern. And Tennessee covered it well, and the pass is no good to Mark Mazzari. And here's Mike Adamle.
Keith, you know, people watching this game at
Watkins comes wide. They run it inside with Dave Hudson. Tennessee gangs up on him pretty well and will stop him after a yard or so. You know who's played a pretty good football game for Tennessee, looks to me like, is that number 88, Tracy Hayworth. He's been flying around all over the place. Almost always either illegal use of hands or clipping in this kind of a call. We had our annual rule session with David Nelson, University of Delaware, the man who wrote the book. And they are really cracking down on blocking below the waist.
Flipping on the receiving team, on the run back. It will be first down after the penalty.
So they're going to mark off the penalty against Tennessee now, and it'll be first down for the Volunteers with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. This may be a put-up time for the Volunteers offensive unit now.
They haven't done much the last few possessions they've had the ball. The first possession of the second half, they really didn't do anything with it. I think when you rely so much on one means of transportation, and that is the passing game, and you can't run the football, and if that's not going well, I think you tend to get a little bit frustrated.
Well, they run it this time, give it to Reggie Cobb. And Cobb is out for a couple of yards to about the 12 from the 10. Decided to season Cobb and save Davis. Vando Davis hasn't been very obvious either. Roland Poles is now in the lineup with Cobb. And this is Cobb. Oh, he cut that one off pretty well and gets up to about the 19. But he's a couple of yards short of the first down.
We talk about offensive linemen and some top players. Here's Galbraith again, the All-American candidate. Watch as he leads Cobb around the end, showing his ability to pull. It's kind of an if block. They call that an if. You can either block the linebacker straight through or go around.
Cobb diving for the marker, and he may have it. It took an all-out effort to get him there, though, because at number 32 for the Hawkeyes, J.J. Puck almost got him, and then finally Pipkins did.
There's J.J., captain, senior.
Well, you talk about a square jaw. I mean, he is a square-jawed dude, isn't he? Charles Wilson back in the lineup for Tennessee on first down from the 22. Yard or so.
With all their talent was some kind of running.
This is Cobb again. Turns it, made a good cut that time. Got a heck of a block, but a penalty flag may wipe it out. A penalty flag may wipe that one out. Sistrunk made the stop on him. 18-yard line. Keith Davis shows up in the backfield now. And he's back in the game, having started for the ball. They're going to throw it. Dump it off to William Howard, the big man. And Howard keeps on rumbling all the way out to the 30. So they get most of that penalty back, and we'll be looking at 3rd and 1.
This is a safe screen. This is a spark of an offense. You can see the lineman peeling out in front of Howard. And Howard just doesn't go down with the first time he's hit. He takes a blow to get him down. But the offense of Tennessee is going back to basics, not throw the ball deep, just throw some short stuff to get something started.
3rd and 1 from the 31. Howard. Iowa's defensive people gang tackling. This will be his 5th punt of the day. And it's a good one. And Marciano drifts back to his 24. Turned upside down at the 28 by Roland Poles, who's been in the backfield a lot today, number 42. 47-yard punt for Garmin. Return of 3.
You talk about being upended. This is it right here. I wonder if his uncle ever got hit this hard. Oh!
Tom Pawolski will be the quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes when we come back. 4:36 remaining in the third quarter. This telecast of the 1987 Kickoff Classic being produced in association with Raycom Sports. And Iowa will go to work now from their own 28 first down. Trailing Tennessee by a point, 14-13. Tom Pawolski, 6'4", 205, junior, St. Louis, Missouri, started 4 games last year. He's now the quarterback, and he hits immediately on a rollout, Quinn early, and it'll be close to a first down.
In for 6 series and produced 10 points.
Bayless is now in the backfield, along with Goodman for Iowa. Goodman has the ball, and on second down and a yard and a half, turns it back into the middle, diving for his first down. Goodman never really got his feet under him on that slight delay. Pawolski on second down, sets up a screen, delivers it to Hudson. Hudson ran right away from one Tennessee man, and then got tangled 47-yard line. And it's first down with Bayless, the lone remaining back. Pawolski's pass is caught. Good to Travis Watkins. And Watkins is finally knocked out of bounds. It looked for a moment. 23-yard line, first down Hawkeyes, and Pawolski looks around, and his PEEP investigation and research done into it. Pawolski sets up and goes deep to the corner. And it is incomplete. There was double coverage coming down on Travis Watkins. Watkins is quick. Second down and 10. Carrying the ball is Rick Bayless. And he'll pick up about 3 yards. Now it's third and long. 3rd and 7. Bayless going to run a reverse. This is Kevin Harmon, who was flanked out as a wide receiver, and Harmon's coming around, headed for the goal line. Touchdown, no flag. Hudson in the backfield. The big man, McGuire, and there's motion on the play. The pass is batted down anyway, and Tennessee probably will refuse the penalty, but...
Let's go back to the touchdown. The man at the top of your screen is Harmon. Fry said, I'll have a few surprises, a reverse on 3rd down. Now, what's the speed of Tennessee? The speed of Tennessee's defense gets there, just does not make the play. Harmon says, I've got some quickness and speed too, and then makes a good move to get inside. Good blocking by Alexander, 55, and then Harmon into the end zone on the tackle of Miller, but too late.
That's his second touchdown of the day. It's now 19-14. The Hawkeyes have the lead again.
It was interesting on that 2-point try that they put McGuire back into the ball game, specifically to hand it off and then run into the end zone. Of course, McGuire's 6'8", trying to get him on the small defensive back, Peppers, who is 5'8", only a foot taller. Peppers made a nice play.
Murphy will kick it off, and Cleveland will return it, or try to, for Tennessee. Hawkeyes lead it by 5. 1:53 to go in the third quarter. It's a high kick, going to be a little shorter than the others have been. At the 10, it's Cleveland. Looking for the hole, cutting back toward it. Couldn't find it, and goes down at the 20.
You know, there's about 20,000 fans that came out from the University of Knoxville, Tennessee, but one volunteer fan is from Chicago. He is Jeff Francis's dad, Charles Francis, from Mount Prospect, Illinois. I know you guys are on the downside of a 1914 deficit, but I think the volunteers and Jeff in particular have looked pretty good.
Well, let's hope they come through now, because this is the time to do it, because this is what we need, a good offensive drive here. I certainly hope that they do it. Tennessee has really a great team, I think, as far as receivers. I think they'll do well for themselves. Oh, he's scrambling. I don't know about this. Oh, that was all right. He needed that one for a little confidence, I think.
Charles, I think you're a good luck charm. You're calling the play-by-play, and Jeff does well.
Well, we followed Jeff all the way through, and we followed our older boy, Scott, at Augustana. You know, Augustana had a record of, he played, 4 years and lost one ball game.
Exactly.
So we're enjoying the game. We enjoyed New York. We're ready to take it easy.
Okay, Keith?
All right, thank you. From the 36, first down for the Volunteers. And they run it with Cobb. And he'll have close to 4 on now make it about 2 on the carry.
University. Whoops. His brother is there now as a graduate student, so it doesn't sound like they have any problem rooting for Tennessee at this point.
This is Cobb again. Cuts it back. Look out. Oh, my goodness, he tripped over his own man. He tripped over his own man, Alvin Harper. If he'd kept going right, he'd have been on the sidelines and long gone.
Take another look as you see the toss. Haight, 64, is battling the center. Now watch the gap that opens up right here. This is a toss. Just string everything wide, and he cuts back in. Schuster can't get him, 72. Harper, number 81, is 6'5". He just couldn't get all of his feet out of the way.
It's first down Volunteers at the 36-yard line, and William Howard in the backfield carries it right up today for 61 yards. Second down and 8, just inside the 35. And the quarter is over. We've got 15 minutes to play as Mazda presents the Kickoff Classic. And Tennessee and Iowa have a 5-pointer going with the Hawkeyes leading. It's second down and 8 as we go to the fourth quarter for Tennessee, just inside the Iowa 35-yard line. The Hawkeyes leading 19-14. Francis pitches to Cobb. Cobb cuts it back inside. Takes a wicked hit, but he's still going to pick up the better part of 6 yards on the carry. He's a big game youngster, and he took a lick from Jim Riley, number 30. Miller, Anthony Miller. We've been trying to find out. We have now confirmed he did injure a knee early on in the ball game. Here goes Cobb again. Got his first down. Well, you know, one of the tip-offs on how good a running back can be, and the old truth of it is they get stronger as the day goes on, and Cobb seems to be getting stronger.
Every good passing team has got to be able to run the ball some. And this is going a long way towards building that offense for Tennessee. Good moves by Cobb. Gets the first down.
Aaron Kepi almost got there too late. It is first down, Volunteers at the Hawkeye 20. And Poles is back in the backfield for Tennessee. There goes Cobb again. A yard that time to the 19. Well, you can see Tennessee last year didn't fare all that well in the fourth quarter. One of those, of course, involved that blowout by Alabama up at Knoxville. Keith Davis now shows up as high back for Tennessee. Davis gets a good block. Penalty flag is thrown. Jeff Francis is scrambling, gets inside the 20 and knocked down at around the 15, but look out for that old yellow flag. And Dave Haight gets up very slowly. 26. Francis dumps it off to Poles out of the backfield. Cobbs is back in the lineup. And they run that little delay, give it to Reggie Cobb, and Cobb takes it back into the center of the field and down to about the 27, 28 yards. Iowa leads it 19-14. Got enough leg, and he's good. So Rich hits it from 45 yards. And it's now a 2-pointer. Iowa 19, Tennessee 17. The ball before he kicks it. And hammers it low and bouncing downfield, and it's picked up cleanly by Kevin Harmon, who's been a stout figure in this ball game for Iowa. And he comes up with a good return there to give the Hawkeyes field position at their own 34.
We'll check it out more when we get to Knoxville.
So they're not sure as how many games you might miss, if any?
No, not right now.
Okay, tough break, but hang in there, kiddo.
Oh, I will.
All right, Anthony Miller.
Out of Pasadena, he came to Knoxville, Pasadena, California. Poholski is the quarterback for the Hawkeyes. Wants to go deep with it and does, and it is incomplete. Thrown well beyond the intended receiver, Quinn Early, with Victor Peppers covering for Tennessee. We'll remind you that at the conclusion of this afternoon's game, we will select the Holiday Inn players of the game, with each of the general scholarship funds at the respective universities receiving $1,000 each from Holiday Inn. Yep. 8 may be done for the day, huh? Low block. Banged him up. Kevin Harmon is in the backfield. He's behind Dave Hudson. And Harmon has it. That's a pretty cute little run there for about 12. And Harmon out for a moment to get a breather. Poholski's pass is zipped, intended for Early, and a bit too high with Terry McDaniel covering for Tennessee. Poholski's got some zip on the ball.
Poholski is there's an injury.
2nd down and 10. That pass is on the numbers to Quinn Early. And Early is spun out of bounds at the Tennessee 41 by Kelly Ziegler. 9th pass for 132 yards, and this is Kevin Harmon dancing around in traffic. And he wiggled in there for 4 yards, maybe 5.
Ziegler led the Volunteers in tackles last year, and he certainly is starting off this year in fine fashion.
Behind Poholski, 2nd down 5. Poholski zips one, incomplete. Pass intended for Mark Mazzari, the junior, out of Park Ridge, Illinois, in front of Victor Peppers. Well, Victor's seen a lot of folks running through his neighborhood today. But he's held up pretty well.
They've thrown that way a lot more than they've thrown over at McDaniels. Both McDaniel and Peppers missed some of spring practice because they were on the track team. Shows you the kind of speed they have. And a lot of the Tennessee football players in years past have also participated in the track team.
Iowa 6 out of 17 in 3rd down conversion. A little delayed handoff goes to Kevin Harmon. Harmon trying for his 1st down. And he's going to have it. He got across the 30, and that was the key.
Away.
Kevin Harvard, junior out of Walnut, Iowa, is one of the wide receivers now, and the handoff goes inside to Hudson. Stack him up in 2nd effort, and that'll be worth a couple of yards. Poholski's in trouble. Gets the pass away. There were 2 Volunteers there. McDaniel, the principal man, getting some help from Charles McCray, and they'll rule that an incomplete pass. There is no grasp rule in college football. Quarterback just
down 2 points with 9 minutes to go.
It'll be 3rd and 8 for the Hawkeyes. Incomplete. Covering on the play, Marv Cook, receiver. Cedric Klein, strong safety. So the strong safety picked up the tight end when he came across the middle. And he made the play, and it is 4th down and 8. And here comes Rob Houtland. Got all of it. And it's good from 42 yards. So he's good from 42, 27, and 40.
Francis and his speedy receivers.
If you're going to beat me, you got to do it on the ground, and Miami couldn't do it.
Well, they could have if they wanted, but they chose not to.
Yep. Ball's rolling around, causing some problems, but it is finally picked up by Keith Davis. And Davis gets something out of it as he gets up across the 20 to about the 24.
Well, both coaches talked about playing a lot of players early in this game. The only thing we have not seen is the 2nd unit offensively for Tennessee that we were told we might see.
Davis is in the lineup. But they are throwing the ball, and Francis lofts it up. Running underneath it, or trying to at least, is Terrence Cleveland. Now that's the kind of a play where Anthony Miller has been a primary receiver. But Miller is out with a hurt.
To throw the ball deep, and Cleveland at the top of your screen, if you'll stop it right there, you'll see that he had him beat by 3 or 4 yards. He just overthrew him.
Second down and 10. Reggie Cobb is in the backfield. The I-back. He's got the ball. And Iowa gets Reggie at about the 26. He's a gamer. William Howard, the lone remaining back, on 3rd and 10. Francis getting some heat, gets it off. He's got a man over there, and the catch is made at the 38-yard line of Iowa by the lanky Alvin Harper. If he'd have had any real estate left on that side, it'd be touchdown because there was nobody with him.
No question. The corner up here is going to let him go to the inside, and then he's going to break back to the outside. It'll end up in a 2-deep zone, and watch Francis as he lays the ball in there between the short man, the corner at the top, and the safety to the right top of your screen right now. He's open. Took him a little bit longer to get him the ball. Maybe if he got him a little quicker, he could have run with it.
Yep. So it's a big play for the Vols, and Reggie Cobb thundering now, beginning to look more and more impressive as the day wears on. But that was Wilson leading the block coming down the way that time. So this big redshirt freshman, very obvious in the ebb and flow here.
I'm sure Johnny Majors is concerned about his passing game with the loss of Anthony Miller, but he's got to be pleased with the running game.
Second down, 1. Could be a time to go deep. Nope. They'll go for the first down, and Cobb gets it. Moving the ball down to the Iowa 23. U.S. Amateur Golf Championship scheduled to follow in the final round of the U.S. Amateur UT Man. Cobb again, right up the middle, wide open, all the way to the 11-yard line. Terry Burt stopped the touchdown, and the Tennessee front of Galbraith, Kirk, and Bruin just blew that one wide open.
Watch the offensive interior, especially the center, as he goes out and makes the block here on the linebacker, and this running back comes right up the middle. Kirk, excellent block. 2 good blocks on the 2 inside linebackers. A little credit to that offensive line doing a nice job.
First down at the 11. Officials.
The defensive man moved but did not enter the neutral zone, so the down counts. It is second down.
Cool.
Okay, there he moves. Now the ball is snapped, and he gets down. Now, he did that intentionally. This is something they work on. Now, that's fine. If he got back, the ball snapped, and he's down, so it's in play. But I don't understand why that other play didn't. Because he snapped it when he was in the neutral zone, and they didn't give him the 5 yards.
There was no play the last. You got 6:20 to play. That clock's been sitting up there whittling away now. 22-17. Iowa trying to hold on to that 5-point lead. This has got pass all over it. Francis back. Goes into the middle. Had his man and missed him. Number 3, Nate Middlebrooks, the tight end, had broken loose. It is now 3rd down for the Volunteers. Setting up a screen for Cobb. Shakes one. No, it's Howard. And William can't break 2 and goes down. So in comes the kicking team. Bill Rich on the field with 5:39 to play. 22-17, Iowa. It'll be a 25-yarder if he hits it. It's good. So the clock shows 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Iowa 22, Tennessee 20. Tennessee situation. The pressure moves to the other side of the ball, the defense. They got to get a hold of Iowa and hang on. Iowa does not have a real deep man. They might possibly anticipate something of an onside kick, but I wouldn't at this juncture, not with 5 minutes and 14 seconds to play. Marciano and Harmon are standing up past, well, near the 20-yard line, as if they don't expect Rich to kick it any farther than that. And all day long now, he's been kicking those low-line drives. Now, I think maybe they're sneaking up there trying to get this one early. This time, he puts it in the air. But it's still caught up around the 20, so it was a good move by the... And Harmon shakes a man and returns it past the 30 to the 32. So I'm sure somebody in the Iowa coaching staff had said, wait a minute, this guy's not kicking the ball past the 20, 15-yard line. To go back there and let a punt drop on the ground in front of him.
Yeah, the old coach, huh?
Catch the ball. Catch the ball. First down for the Hawkeyes. Tennessee defense may have to gamble some here. Rick Bayless wiggling on the sidelines. We'll move it up to about the 35. Back goes Paholski. Shoots it out here, and the pass is dropped by Craig Clark, tight end. It was a little high and beyond him. He got his fingers on it, but the senior from Columbus Junction.
Last 8 passes. Guy's going to stay with it.
Third and long. Going big for Early. No chance. He drew a crowd down the middle.
Hey, drew a big crowd, Keith. Here's Early here. He's going to go straight down the field, and there are 3 defensive backs around him. The other receivers are going to be short. Early goes straight down, and as you can see, if you wanted to throw to the wrong guy, you don't want to throw to single-covered guys.
Adams gets away a fine punt. Runs Cleveland all the way back to his 19. And Terrence comes back to the 29. 47-yard punt, 10-yard return, and 4:37 remaining in the game. Tennessee has the ball. Keith Jackson along with Bob Greasy and Mike Adamle, and this is the kickoff classic, and Tennessee has the football first down, and here's a redshirt freshman named Reggie Cobb, who has become a big man in the Tennessee running game today. And Iowa leads in the ball game by a score of 22-20, so this may very well be the crucial possession for Tennessee if they hope to win this game. Brad Quast is shaken up and on the ground now for is that little square thing with G on it. That's the glory land for Tennessee. They trail by 2, and Brad Quast is going to have to leave the game for the Hawkeyes. He had 10 tackles as he leaves the game. Mike, you got something?
The wide receiver Jim Morrow, who we saw leave the game earlier for x-rays, it was confirmed he did break his bone in his right leg, his lower right leg, so he looks like he's out for the year.
Oh my, that's a heavy loss for the Hawkeyes. Second down and about 7 for Tennessee. Ball out around the 33-yard line. Jeff Francis wants to go deep with it, and that'll get a flag. Iowa man grabbed him and pulled him down. James Pipkins grabbed Terrence Cleveland and threw him down, and that's a 15-yard pickup. Wasn't any question about it.
Just the end of it. Both number 4s. Pipkins on the right is a redshirt freshman playing this year for the first time. Now they're both looking for the ball. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Got tangled up, didn't he?
Yeah, they were both looking, playing for the ball. Pipkins, number 4 in white, didn't do anything. He just stumbled on himself. That's incidental contact. Get their feet crossed up.
It is not marked at the spot of the foul, however. It's a 15-yard penalty, and so Tennessee is going to have a first down.
Yeah.
Just short of their own 48-yard line.
No, the rule in college football is an interference is from the spot, and in pros it's where the foul occurred. But
which do you like? Which do you think's the most fair?
Well, in this case, I like it taking it back where it did because I don't think there was a foul. So
back goes Francis again, getting some pressure, gets away from it. Good move by Jeff Francis. Got a man wide open on the sideline. Nate Middlebrooks. And it'll be another volunteer first down near the Iowa 35. Dan Worth was the man chasing Jeff Francis, but Jeff showed some quickness there, getting away from the pursuit.
Showed a little class there, too, a little quality. He didn't pressure, didn't get upset when the pressure came to him. He just spun out, found a receiver, and got it to him.
3:51 to play in the ball game, and it's at the Iowa 36, first down volunteer. Reggie Cobb's back in and has the ball. He's turning out to be a bully, isn't he? He's down to the 28.
This could really be a potent offense if they get Cobb in there as a strong runner, and the passing that they've got.
He's got 130 yards now. On 23 carries. He's out. Keith Davis is back. Second down, short 3, long 2, 2.5. This is Davis. He's quick. He's got a first down inside the 20. Dwight Sistrunk took his legs out from under him, but he picks up another Tennessee first down.
Sistrunk, number 22, right in your picture in the forefront, will end up making this play. Good blocking up front by Still, 79, and Sistrunk just goes over and knocks his leg out.
You were, I presume, a quarry at one time of Otis, his uncle?
The man from Mars?
William Howard in front of Keith Davis. Davis. Down and 8. Cobb's got it. Slashes inside the 10-yard line. He will, however, be just a little short of his first down.
Watch the block by the right guard here, Bruin, as he pulls and blocks to the outside. Excellent offensive guards for the Tennessee Volunteers. Galbraith on the left. Look at the block there by Bruin. Just bowls his way through there. Tennessee is in field goal range, Keith. I'd be surprised if they put it up.
They can afford. They've got time to grind on it. Third down, 1.5 yards. Big play here for the Hawkeye defense as Cobb goes over the top and picks up the first down. Clock will stop until they mark the ball.
Well, I'm not surprised. We expected a close game. Both teams are ranked in the top 20. Both teams are in the chase for their championship in their individual conferences. There you see Doug Matthews trying to get the play call that Walt Harris up in the press box, the offensive coordinator, wants him to run.
Howard is now your tailback. William Howard, the big man, and he's got it. And he won't go down, as Bob said, on the first hit. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage and hit pretty hard. But he kept on banging and at least got back to the line of scrimmage. It is second down and goal.
A little surprised here that Iowa is not stopping the clock. They have 2 timeouts left.
And you got a half a minute coming up. One more play and probably the field goal. And he's down to the 2-yard line with 10 seconds. 9, timeout, 8, 7, 6. And they finally get the clock stopped with 6 seconds to play. Well, you know what's going to happen. Phil Rich, Jr. from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, has a chance to win it for Tennessee. 6 seconds to play. The ball is resting at the 3-yard line for Phil Rich. And he's looking at a tough angle.
Well, I think Johnny Majors was trying to call timeout with 11 or 12 seconds. It's on the 1-yard line. I think he wanted to run another play, much rather run it in. Now you've got it all the way on the left hash mark. Look at the 2 hash marks on the left side. The one furthest left is the college. The one inside that to the right is the pro. This is a tough angle.
Lee England holds it. Tim Stafford snaps it. It's good. Knocks it through from 20. And seemingly has won the game for the Volunteers of Tennessee. 23-22.
Just an excellent drive to get Rich down in position to kick the winning field goal. Pressure kick, no matter how short it was. The toughest thing about that was the angle.
The U.S. Amateur Championship round coming up in a moment with Eric Repton and Bill Mayfair. And our Holiday Inn players of the game for the University of Tennessee, Reggie Cobb, 25 carries, 138 yards, 117 in the second half. For the University of Iowa, Kevin Harmon. Kevin Harmon with 11 carries, 40 yards and a touchdown running, 4 receptions, 60 yards receiving and a touchdown. And so the 2 young men out of the running back position, responsible for a $1,000 donation to each of the university's general scholarship fund at Iowa and Tennessee, compliments of Holiday Inn. Next game for Tennessee, September 5, Colorado State in Knoxville. For the Iowa Hawkeyes, September 12 at Arizona in Tucson, and that won't be easy either. There's a look at the 2 young men responsible for the donation of $1,000 today to their respective universities' general scholarship fund.
Rich, the place kicker for Tennessee, will get the credit and the plaudits, but you've got to give the credit to Francis and Cobb in that offensive unit. Took the ball down and scored when they had to score their last possession of the game. Walt Harris, the offensive coordinator, outstanding job.
I like to call them big uglies. I mean, the big folks up in front in the trenches, vital part of that whole story because, well, you pointed out the block Bruin made that opened that door, that one big run. You don't go. No halfback goes anywhere without a big ugly opening the door for it.
I think we showed a graphic a little earlier that showed how Tennessee was outplayed in the 4th quarter of a lot of games last year. Today, I mean, in this quarter, Tennessee has had the ball over 11 minutes. Iowa's only had it about 3 minutes and a half. So today, Tennessee has dominated when they had to.
Only 3 ticks remaining on the clock. Rich bounces it downfield where Grant Goodman pitches it back to Quinn Early, and Early looking for some running room. He flips it back to Kevin Harmon. Kevin Harmon's still wiggling around. Now it's flipped across to Cobb, Cook, the tight end. Cook is still going. Now it's thrown on the ground, picked up, and it looks like Cal Stanford of a couple of years ago. But Kevin Harmon throws it up in the air, and Tennessee finally catches it, and the ball game is over. Well, you might as well have some fun with it, and they did. Kelly Days winds up with the football. And so that's the story at the 5th Kickoff Classic at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands as Tennessee beats Iowa 23-22. We hope you enjoyed it. This afternoon's game brought to you by Mazda Car and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. And in part by Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most. By Rockwell International, where science gets down to business. And by Wrangler Jeans, made in the USA. Next, ABC Sports presents the 87th U.S. Amateur Golf Championship. Bill Mayfair, Eric Rebman, in the final championship round of one of the great tournaments of the world. Coverage coming up in just a moment. Preseason action continues. 8 Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals will take on the preceding program, brought to you by Raycom Sports. Promotional consideration paid by Mazda. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports. Again, your final: Tennessee 23, Iowa 22. Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, Mike Adamle. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again on Monday night, September 7, USC at Michigan State.
Tennessee 23-22 over Iowa on Phil Rich's 20-yard field goal with 6 seconds to play.
13 lead. But the Volunteers rally, and then their place kicker, Ron Rich, comes on with the late winner. The Volunteers win it 23-22.
Next Saturday night against Maryland, the kickoff classic this afternoon. Hawkeyes and Volunteers, second quarter, Iowa and white. They're set to make it 10-7. Instead, Darren Miller intercepts, and now it's a foot race. Now, if he did his sprints, he would make it into the end zone. He gets one block. He's ready to fall asleep on his feet, but he does barrel into the end zone, so it's a 14-3 Volunteer lead. Third quarter, 14-10. The reverse to Kevin Harmon. It's his second touchdown of the afternoon as he walks the tightrope, cuts it into the left, and Iowa leads. 6 seconds left, though. 22-20 Iowa. Phil Rich with the 20-yard field goal, and the whole stadium almost went to black there. 23-22. Tennessee beats Iowa.
This year's kickoff classic officially opened the college football season. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Tennessee Volunteers, both ranked in the top 20, met in the Meadowlands Sunday. The hype before the game centered around Dan McGuire, the Hawks starting quarterback, and the brother of Oakland A slugger Mark McGuire. Dan was hoping for some of his brother's rookie success to rub off. Second quarter, we'll pick it up at 7-3 Tennessee. Fourth and goal for Iowa. Chuck Hartley with a lateral pass. Intercepted, number 45, Darren Miller. And watch him take off, rather take down the steam a little bit here in the end. The 30, the 20, yeah, come on, where is the end zone? A 96-yard interception return. Tennessee leads at 14-3, and that guy needs a glass of water. Late in the 19-14 Iowa, 6 seconds left. Iowa leads by 2, and Phil Rich picks it up. It is good. Tennessee wins it 23-22, and all is well on the Tennessee sidelines.
Well, I was confident that I was going to make it. I had no doubt that I would miss it. So I just went in and did what I did all week during practice. I just hit the ball sweet, went right through.
You see the final score there. What a game. Tennessee winning at 23-22. McGuire, 7 of 14 for 86 yards. Hayden Fry said after the game that he didn't know if they're any closer to who's the #1 quarterback than they were before the game. Iowa, by the way, did lose a senior receiver, Jim Morrow. He broke his leg. Both teams had more than 350 total yards in that game.